Hey Paranormies, it's Jen and you're on the light side of the paranormal. Welcome to 31 Days of Halloween, where we bring you very spooky content from October 1st until the most wonderful time of the year, Halloween. If you're not already subscribed, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content we put out, especially during spooky season. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the real Annabelle doll. Most of you know her story already, I'm sure, especially if you are horror and paranormal buffs, but I don't think our October would be complete without talking about our favorite haunted doll, Annabelle, one of the Warrens' most dangerous cases. If you don't know who the Warrens are and you've never heard of Annabelle, I suggest you watch this video and learn all about them. They are a husband and wife paranormal investigating duo whose cases are known worldwide. Unfortunately, they are both gone from this world now, but definitely live on when we share their stories and cases with each other. So most of you probably recognize Annabelle as being this horrifying face, but the real Annabelle was actually a Raggedy Ann doll. Now, there are no known concerns with viewing her photo, so I'm going to show it now, but if you would choose to skip ahead, just skip ahead a few seconds. So this is the actual Annabelle doll. A little less scary looking in appearance, but just as terrifying nonetheless. So the real story starts like this. In 1970, a nursing student named Donna was gifted this Raggedy Ann doll by her mother, who found it at a secondhand hobby shop. She lived with her roommate, Angie, and slowly over time, they started realizing that this Raggedy Ann doll would be moving. And not moving like watching her and she was moving, like she would be a little slouched, or she would be in a different position than what they put her in. But these were all things that they could explain away to being bumped or being knocked. But eventually that escalated to leaving the apartment with the Raggedy Ann doll on Donna's bed and coming home to find her on the couch. Now, the girls had a friend named Lou, and he hated the doll. He said he felt some type of evil presence around it. It just felt off. He didn't like her at all, but the girls thought there had to be some type of explanation for everything. You know, being nurses, maybe they were a little bit more logical and a little bit more on the skeptical side. So shortly after these big movements by the doll, they started finding little notes around the house written on parchment paper. They would say things like, "Help us," or "Help Lou," scrawled across them. Strange enough, yes, but even stranger was that neither of the girls had this type of paper in their possession. So where was it coming from? One night, Donna came home to find the doll sitting on her bed, covered in blood. Now, whatever the strange red liquid was, it was coming from the doll, which is gross. I would love to test whatever that was. Was it real blood, or was it like something else? But anyway, it was coming from the doll, and this was enough to make her decide to contact a medium. The medium told the girls that before the apartment complex was built, there was a large field there, and a 7-year-old girl's dead body was found in that field. Her name was Annabelle Higgins, and she said that Annabelle really liked Donna and Angie. She felt safe with them, she liked them, and she liked the Raggedy Ann doll. So she became attached to it. And that's how Annabelle got her name. So the girls were both compassionate nursing students, and they decided, yes, if this poor little girl who was dead found them comforting and trustworthy and wanted to stick around, she could do so. But that was a mistake, and things skyrocketed from there. Their friend Lou started having nightmares and sleep paralysis surrounding the Annabelle doll. And he even had a sleep paralysis experience where he saw Annabelle crawling up his body and choking him. And he would wake up coughing and needing to catch his breath. And on one scary evening, the three of them were sitting around the table planning a trip when they heard movement in Donna's room. And so, being on alert now, thinking that somebody has broken in, they approached her bedroom. And Lou went in first to find that Annabelle was actually sitting in a corner, rather than on the bed where they had originally left her. He suddenly had this strong feeling like someone was watching him, so he spun around and nobody was there. But he felt like this was definitely Annabelle, and he looked at her and suddenly had these sharp pains on his chest. And upon looking, he had these bloody rake marks across his chest. and immediately he knew it was Annabelle that had done it. Strangely, the marks began to heal very, very quickly and were completely gone in 2 days. At this point, they knew they needed some real help, so they contacted a priest who got them into contact with Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens knew immediately that it was no 7-year-old girl attached to this doll. It was a demon. And it wasn't possessing the doll, it was manipulating it to make it seem like the doll was haunted. And in reality, what it really wanted was to possess Donna. One of the best scenes in the Annabelle movie, the first one, is the scene where you see that the doll is not haunted, but that there is a demon behind it manipulating it like a marionette almost. The first time I saw that scene, I was totally freaked out. I paused it and had to like pull myself together before continuing. It's a very scary scene, but it's a really great way to depict what was happening here. So the priest performed an exorcism of their apartment, and Ed put Annabelle in a bag and put her in his car to take home. Ed agreed not to take the larger highway home, but to take the smaller back roads because there was a concern that the demon may try to attack while he was driving and it wouldn't be safe. And sure enough, as he was driving, the power steering kept failing, the engine kept cutting out, and he actually had problems with the brakes. So Ed pulled over, opened the bag, and sprinkled some holy water inside onto Annabelle and tied the bag back up, and that was enough to get him home safely. So for a while, Ed kept Annabelle in his home office next to his desk, and he actually reported seeing it levitate more than once. And not long after that, the doll started moving around the Warrens' home, just like at Donna and Angie's apartment. So Ed and Lorraine decided to have the doll exorcised by a priest who didn't take it seriously. He kind of mocked the idea that it was just a doll, it couldn't hurt them. That was a mistake. Why you wouldn't take anything to do with exorcism seriously, I don't know. But on his way home, he was in a horrible car accident and his car was completely totaled. He did survive though. After that, Annabelle was locked in a glass case and kept in the Warrens Occult Museum. And she remains in that glass case to this day. Now in early 2020, there was a tweet released that Annabelle had actually escaped her glass case and was no longer in the Warrens Museum. And the internet went wild. Like 2020 wasn't bad enough. This really is the end. The demon dolls have taken over. But it was actually debunked. I don't know who started that rumor, but they struck a lot of panic and fear in a lot of people. And she actually isn't even located in the museum anymore. She is still in her glass case, but she's at a different location now, so she didn't escape the museum. And there you have it, folks. That is the real story of Annabelle. Very different from the movie franchise, but still just as scary. It would be tough working in I don't even know where to start that. I was gonna say it would be tough working in your occult museum with her there. But then I started spiraling into it would be tough working in your occult museum that is located in your home. It would be tough having an occult museum in your home. Like it could just snowball off of that. Okay, so Annabelle's in a case in your occult museum where you work every day, which is also located in your house, which also has other crazy occult items in it. Like, it's a lot. The two of them were very brave taking on what they did. If you like this video, don't forget to boop that like button. It helps us out so much and we really, really do appreciate it. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. You can follow Alice and myself on our personal pages as well, and everything is linked in the description below. And we'll see you tomorrow. Sleep well.